welcome to another session of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. When we left our brave investigators, they stood upon the precipice of darkness, staring into the lair of a troll. They had just successfully escaped from a burning building. Cause of the fire still presently unknown. However, their quick thinking had allowed them to not only get out on time, but manage to organize and rally all of the workmen and be able to actually put the inn out so it was no longer on fire. This brought them together such that they began a general strike, which had been in the air for quite some time. This gave our erstwhile adventurers and their companion Sarah Pearsdaughter a chance to escape and head to the lair of the troll gut grinder. Of course, they didn't quite expect what they would find there. Past a set of heavy iron doors was a tunnel that led deep, deep into the hillside. Far, far longer than that hill should have even been able to accommodate. They have slowly set foot down those darkened corridors, lit by torches in sconces upon the walls, and with the light crack of reeds under their feet. And silently, without a sound, the door behind them closes. What are the four of you going to do?
Wasn't that a stone door or something? Is it?
Oh shit, you know what it might have been.
It's very, very large and robust door to close so silently.
I retract my entire introduction. It was in fact a stone door.
I'm so sorry, Brian. I was just being funny.
Are you?
I really wasn't like nitpicking. I was just joking. Like I didn't think it. Okay.
You know, once you get a learning 5, you get a new talent called actually, where it's actually, I believe you will find the door was made of stone, Game Master, not steel at all. You should go back and check your notes. The question remains, what are the four of you going to do?
So as the door is closing behind us, I'm going to see if I can open it back up.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it swings open very gently, without a sound.
This looks like a very long tunnel. Did anyone bring a snack?
I have some wine in my pack.
I do too.
I did not bring any victuals. No.
Sarah, are there any berries in these woods or anything? Should we try to? No, I'm sure it's fine. We won't be gone that long. It'll be fine.
She does nod when you ask if there are any berries.
I don't know. Do we want to?
I mean, does it look like it's going that deep where we'd be concerned about food?
Oh, it disappears off into the darkness. You see there are torches, like, down this hallway, but it goes.
I mean, we don't want to be making decisions and trying to make deals with him when we're hangry, you know?
I mean, you're not yourself when you're hangry. I do know that that's a thing.
That's very true.
In fairness, one of us wants you to be making deals with the troll while you're hangry.
Listen.
Why you gotta be like that, Lucius? Why you gotta be like that?
Listener, it's like they don't even see me. I feel so underappreciated here. I do all this work to torment them, and they just blame Bill. God.
Try harder, Brian.
I will.
No. Bill. God damn it.
Challenge accepted.
Shit.
All right, so are you going to stock up on provisions or just set out?
I'll ask Sofie if she can, make sure to ask Sarah. Wait a minute, Sarah hasn't been here before. Gut grinders always come to her.
Correct.
Oh, that's right. So here's the thing. It's like, we as players know that this is probably going to be a thing that we need, but would we as characters think like suddenly we need to go like stop what we're doing and go grab snacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, none of our other mysteries have involved us being gone too long.
And this is our learning. You know what? This is our learning experience.
Yeah.
Not everything goes smoothly. So, okay.
I mean, we did eat the night before, correct? When we first got
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, we did because we gave Sarah a bunch of food and
And so then we went to bed
Yeah,
and woke up to the fire and then basically came here. I mean, unless we were hungry someone was actually said they're hungry, at least I'd feel
we
inclined
do
to
have to remember we cannot eat anything from the troll, like in
that's
the troll's
correct.
boat.
Yeah.
So even if we find anything in here that looks edible, we can't eat it. I mean, I agree with Phoenix. Like yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we can. I don't think we can make the case of let's turn around and go find food, because we've got no indication that we're going to be traipsing way out of here. So
Yeah.
and yeah, we can see that it goes further than we would expect from the hill, but it's still. I mean, we can't see that it's going 50 miles away or anything like that. So, all right, are you guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I don't know that we need to actually go back. It'll be fine, right?
I'm sure it's fine.
We're just walking. It's fine.
I think the sooner we can find Roger and get him back to get Akane free, that might be the best for everyone involved.
Yes.
I'm not along with that.
All right, so you set off.
I will light up my hurricane lantern.
I was just about to ask. The torches on the walls are sort of spaced pretty far apart, leaving large patches of darkness.
Would I be able to grab one and take it down from the wall?
Absolutely.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Easily serves to help light your way. The four of you spend a surprising amount of time walking. It's been about half an hour just walking straight down this hallway. However, you finally reached a spot where it branches out. There are many different tunnels going on in different directions. Some are lit by more torches, others are completely pitch black. You get the sense this is going to be involved.
Is there any tracks on the ground that we might be able to see if one area might look more like worn or more traveled than any of the other branches?
They all have kind of like what look like old dried reeds across them. But you don't see signs of tracks.
I really want to, like, mechanically, this is impossible, but I really want to, like, send Yortz a few feet into each tunnel and have him take a sniff to see if he sneezes down any of the tunnels.
So, full disclosure, this whole area is magical.
Okay.
So, basically, Yortz is going to just be, like, looking in all directions and sneezing at a random interval.
Okay, that's fair.
Your skirts seem to have developed an allergy, Sofie.
Yes, I'll have to get him some herbal remedies when we get back.
And I'm sorry, I don't know why I called you Sofie there.
Alright, so, the way this is going to work.
Oh boy.
Navigating these tunnels is going to require either a learning or an investigation test. If you have something like a compass, that could potentially provide a bonus. If someone also has points in investigation or also has points in learning, they could also assist with this roll. And Sarah is able to provide a +2 bonus.
Nice.
Well, nerds, you're on your own. This sounds like book stuff, and that is not what I do.
Additionally, each time you make this test, it will take 1 full day.
Oh.
However, Successes are cumulative. Once you've obtained enough successes, you will successfully have tracked down where Gut Grinder is in these tunnels.
Oh, okay. So this could be one of those where if we roll a bunch of successes on roll number 1, it takes us a day. Otherwise, we could be here for a month if our luck is real bad.
Well, I have good news. You'll probably be in here for less than a week. One way or another.
Yeah.
That's not ominous in the least.
Okay.
Okay, so I have writing utensils on me.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we do, I'm going to mark the tunnels, and then little Jim Henson Muppets are going to come out and turn the tiles a different way so that it fucks up my directions.
I won't confirm or deny the Jim Henson Muppets yet, but I will say that will give you a bonus on your roll.
Oh, okay, great. So my main goal there was to make sure that if we do wander around in here for a day, that we can find our way back out to then go either forage or possibly just go all the way back to town or to the camp or something to get food and then come back. Because if we're in here for a day, we're not going to be like, oh, let's just continue looking, unknowing how long it's going to be. Like, that would be stupid.
I mean, I've also got like makeup in my equipment, so I'm sure I could also help as far as just like putting some lipstick on the walls to kind of help mark our path. But that's about as much as I think I'm going to be able to bring to this.
Well, I mean, just from that perspective, we should just mark the path we came in from right now, so we know where the exit is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you're easily able to do that.
Okay.
So, who is going to take the lead?
I have 10 dice with no bonuses.
So probably not Sofie.
I'm going to say I have 7 with investigation, but not with learning.
All right, guys. All right. I've got 3. I'll do it.
Finally, someone who's going to lead us to success.
I know.
Now, Bill, are you trained in learning at all?
I have 2 in learning. Or no, I have 1 in learning.
Okay. But that is enough that you could still assist Sofie.
Yes.
So, you said investigation or learning?
Yep, you get to pick.
So, I have the thing that ignores conditions on learning. I do have 1 mental condition, but I have 1 less in learning than in investigation. So, really, it's kind of a toss-up. Like, it doesn't really...
For now, the same.
Yeah. So I'll do investigation then.
Okay.
All right, Sofie, we believe in you.
All right. So I have a total of 12 dice.
You should have more than that.
Oh, 13.
So Sarah's worth a +2 bonus.
Right.
Dr. Jensen is worth a +1 bonus.
Uh-huh.
And your writing implements give you a +1 bonus.
Oh.
So I believe you should have 14 dice, you crazy person.
Okay. 3 successes on 14 dice.
Okay.
Do you want to push that?
Is that good enough, you guys?
That sounds like a good start. I mean, I'm honestly going to say, we don't know what we need. I almost say push the roll. Let's see if we can get out of here as fast as we freaking can. Yes, it's going to give you a condition, but I think we want to try to get through this as fast as we can.
You only have 1 mental condition?
Yeah.
I'll give you one guess what it is.
One, 2, 3 more.
That's a total of 6 successes?
Total of 6. I think that's where I'm going to stop because I don't want to get another condition yet.
I was going to say, good news, you can't push it any further than 1 push, but...
Okay, good.
What condition is Sofie going to be taking?
All right. I'm sure I'm already angry. Yep.
You're always angry. That's Sofie's secret. She's always angry.
I'll say that she's frightened because she doesn't like being in these tunnels and in this cave and stuff. And so she's a little scared of not being able to get out.
Okay. The good news is at least these are fairly spacious caves. So she doesn't have that feeling of like closeness.
Oh, if
that
we
you
were
get.
crawling, I would like. By the way, that's on my nope list. Please don't ever do that to me. Like when you have to like shimmy through a hole and it. Nope.
Zero spelunking.
Yep.
Is that Aaron or Sofie?
That's Aaron.
Good to know.
Sofie would just get stuck because of her books.
And then she'd get mad about it.
Yeah.
Now, on a completely unrelated note, you've been making a lot of progress, and you are finding little signs. Things like, as Bill mentioned, some tracks on the floor. Things like little scuff marks. You spot some, like,
Bones?
apple cores randomly. A few bones here and there. And you get the sense that you are going in the right direction. However, from down a darkened hall, you hear a chittering sound. Kind of a scratching, squeaking noise. And also the thumps of many, many legs on the floor. What do you all do?
Please just be rats.
I don't know, the last time you ran into rats, they mugged you.
That's true.
Man,
Yeah, I don't want to deal with spiders.
the adjective of chittering is I don't think that has ever been used in a good sense. That's just there's nothing.
Yeah, or even like a harmless.
Yeah. No, chittering's always
There are
bad.
certain words that when you hear them, you know it's a problem. Squelching, squamous, chittering, non-Euclidean. These never lead to anything good. So, the four of you could definitely try and hide down one of the branching tunnels. You would all need to make stealth checks. Otherwise, you will encounter whatever's heading towards you.
I mean, how stealthy are we feeling?
I mean, I'm a little stealthy. I'm not a lot stealthy.
I am pretty sure I'm like the opposite of stealthy. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to try to hide because this sounds
Yeah.
awful. But
I think trying to hide, not wanting to make a noise that might announce us either. So like getting in a scuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's try and hide.
All right. If everybody can give me a stealth check.
Okay, well, 1 success on 5 dice.
Stealth is a physical thing, right?
That is going to be precision plus stealth.
Oh, shoot. That's right. I've got 2 physical conditions. I rolled too many dice.
Feel free to just re-roll it, Phoenix.
Well,
I got 0 successes on 3 dice.
I mean, this is where... So, I have a question, Brian, and this is silly. I have cocoa wine, which is going to allow me to ignore physical conditions.
Yes.
I mean, it feels... And it's like, hey, let's go hide. Okay, pardon me while I slam down this bottle of wine. Like, it feels a little out of place, but is that a thing that I can do?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Are you fearful or hopeless?
He's got physical conditions, not mental.
The cocoa wine prevents physical conditions.
No. I'm just saying, like in character, if you already had the mental conditions of fearful or hopeless, it would follow that you're like, oh shit, pop, and you're just doing whatever you can to.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of time to prep. Like, this is not like a they're here next round kind of thing. I mean, whatever it is here next round. Who knows what it is?
So then, you know what? Sure, I will go ahead and consume that cocoa wine because this seems like a good time to start drinking. And then I don't know if my... So that would have been my previous roll then. Ignoring that would have been the 1 success on 5. But I don't know if something has to happen first.
So you got a success. Sofie did not.
I had 1 success.
Hey!
Perfect. And Sarah got 0 out of 5.
Ouch.
So she will push the roll. This is also one of those ones where if you get more successes than you need, you can share them amongst the team, although no one has gotten any extras.
Please, for the love of God.
Hey.
Oh, Jesus.
And Sarah manages to get 2 out of 5 on her pushed roll. She will take a condition, though. And so, realizing that Sofie is not well hidden, she kind of grabs her about the shoulders and pulls her back. But this leaves Sarah exhausted.
I do weigh like 300 pounds, so.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, moving that much inertia all at once is bound to tap you.
100 pounds of Sofie, 200 pounds of books.
Hey!
Mm-hmm. So, the 4 of you are all hidden in these tunnels. And you have a clear view of what scuttles by. Has anyone here ever heard of a little bear beetle?
No.
I haven't, Brian. Would you like to tell me more about it?
Something makes me glad that I've never seen one.
Well, I'm about to change that.
I was going to say, for clarity, I don't know that this needs to go into our Discord. I don't think you need to share the image of this one.
I think it's
Is
fine.
my finger hovering over the enter button?
Oh!
Yeah, I figured it would be. I don't know that that's necessary.
It's happening.
That's not bad.
They're actually a little cute for a beetle.
I was saying
They're not that bad.
Ew, it's furry. That's... no.
You may revise in a minute when I get to the description of them.
It's better than spiders.
Truth. There are 4 of these beetles that are kind of scuttling down the hallway. They are pretty large size, and by that, I mean roughly the size of a small dog. They have greenish heads, red abdomens, and are covered in a soft white hair that almost looks like fur. They kind of make a chittering sound amongst themselves. They stop briefly and kind of scuttle about, looking at some of the rushes that are on the ground. And then all 4 of them suddenly pause and rush off in another direction.
So they are chittering, skittering, and scuttling. None of these are good things.
Nope.
Suddenly, Julian is very glad he's been drinking.
Another battle map that doesn't get used. Someday, battle maps.
Sarah is getting... She has 10,000 brownie points, and I will be building her a house on my property.
I think it's real bold of you to assume you're getting out of here to build her a house.
Shut up, Julian.
Maybe Sofie will build her a house in here.
There you go.
So, the 4 of you press on. And I have some good news.
Really, Brian? Do you really?
Well, now I'm just going to take it back. The number of successes you needed, Aaron, was 5.
Yay!
So, you manage to successfully navigate these tunnels.
Woo-hoo!
Following footprints, tracking things down. Sarah helps kind of with an idea of the places that Gut Grinder would go, or can spot like, oh no, that tunnel would be too narrow for him. He'd go this way instead. Dr. Jensen kind of helps navigate, points out things. Julian occasionally puts lipstick marks on various rock formations, to show where you've been. And also because it's funny to him. And the 4 of you finally reach the end of the cavern tunnels. Hello, dear listener. It's your host and game master, Brian. I'm back with another featured show from the Umbrella Podcast Collective. This time, I'd like to tell you about Midday Musings. If you're listening to our show, you probably enjoy comedy, horror, and/or history. Well, it just so happens those are all the same things that Laura and Steven at Midday Musings like to talk about every single episode. They are a lunch break-sized podcast airing 3 times a week, and they spend each 30-minute episode chatting about a single movie, TV show, or historical event. It's like a conversation with friends talking about the newest thing that you are super into. You can find them on Spotify, iTunes, or check out them and every other show that's part of the Umbrella Podcast Collective at rainydayrabbitholes.com/umbrella. Here's Laura and Steven to tell you more.
In a world buzzing with notifications, welcome to Midday Musings, the cure to internet overwhelm. The Fallout Wasteland very closely resembles the Wild West, with a few extra notes.
Right? It's like a post-apocalyptic Wild West, but with a ton of steampunk elements.
Dive into discussions on media that matters, history that fascinates, and relationships that resonate.
Drive. I love that. I also believe that's my defining characteristic.
Stephen, it is why I fell in love with you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm having feelings, but not the bad kind.
Join us, two best friends who've navigated life side by side for nearly a decade.
I just wanted to talk about robots and aliens.
I
just wanted to do it. That's all.
This is all a ruse.
It was.
Your cozy corner, where conversations are just the right size for your lunch break.
So hit pause on the chaos, subscribe to Midday Musings, and join our family. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
The four of you finally reach the end of the cavern tunnels. As you draw closer, you start to realize that you are following not just your eyes or your ears, but your noses. Cautiously, you step around a corner and just smell the most amazing smells. Fresh cooked bread, roasting meat, rich spices. Turning this corner, you open up to a large room. It's lit by dancing firelight that comes from a massive 10-foot wide hearth at the far end. It sheds light on an enormous table, which dominates the center of the room and is laden with all manner of delicious smelling food. Honey glazed ham, salmon cooked over cedar planks, roasted root vegetables like potatoes and carrots and more covers every surface of this table. That large stone hearth, made of perfectly smooth stone, looks like a chisel has never even touched it. A fire merrily crackles away, casting a dim light which illuminates the elaborately carved runes across the stone mantle above that fireplace. Cowering off in the corner of this room, next to the hearth, is Roger Burns, still alive based on his small movements and shuddering whispered cries. Your eyes slowly adjust to the gloom, and you spot one other key feature of this room. A massive bed, raised 4.5 feet off the floor. A pair of large workman's boots rest underneath, made from numerous patches of leather that it's impossible to tell what was originally part of the boot and what has since been added on. Something on the bed moves and shifts under piles of furs and blankets, stirring for a tense moment before settling back down. And, for no reason, I'm just gonna move you all in roll 20.
Oh boy.
To a new map called the Troll Hearth. And with that, what do you all do?
Is there cheese in here? Because if so,
Yes.
RIP to Sofie, I might as well just make a new character.
There are giant wheels of cheese on that table. Also, Bill, Dr. Jensen does spot a large stein of beer on that table. And all three of you definitely feel your stomachs rumble a bit. You are actually pretty hungry. You've been able to get a little bit of nourishment from some of the liquors and wines that you carry, but it's been a bit since you had food. You've been traveling most of, if not a full day at this point. That table does look awful good.
That table does look awful good.
There are some other paths through the room. There is an area that is filled with old dried leaves. Looks like maybe an area that the troll has been kicking stuff off of his boots. You could probably move quietly through there, but stealthing is going to be a little bit harder as you're crunching your way through.
Can we not pass the table? Do we have to interact with the table if we move through that square or something?
If you move through that zone, you'll be real close to that magnificent feast.
Ooh.
It smells so good, you don't know if you'd be able to resist. Of course, there's always another route that you could take. It just isn't quite as nicely refined as the other way, and is full of jagged rocks. So you'd run a risk of maybe stabbing your foot. So, what are you all going to do?
Looking at this, I'm going to kind of eye the others and have us actually back away from everything that we're seeing here. We should probably come up with this. This could be bad.
So, table talk, I'm thinking that...
You want to go check out the feast. Table talk.
Right. Yes. Jagged rocks will lead to physical conditions, most likely, right? And also resisting the feast likely will be more difficult if you have mental conditions.
Well, if you go through...
And none of us is very stealthy, so...
Going through the sharp rocks, whoever goes through there, if you go through and back, you're going to be broken, presumably.
Well, it is, to, again, part the curtain a little, going to be an attack against you. There's not a guarantee that you will get hurt going into them, but there is a chance you will be injured.
Would I be able to do things like dodge and parry rocks?
Nope. So it's just a straight attack against you.
Okay.
Is there any way that we could give each other any kind of advantage in going over the rocks? Like...
Unfortunately not. Tragically, you are going to be counting on the performance of my dice.
Oh, great.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, I haven't put a character in the dead character folder for years now. I have a folder.
That does not give me confidence.
Listener, Aaron had the world's most unimpressed face right there. It's like, this motherfucker.
Okay. Is there anything we can do with any of our thing? Because see, the problem is if you go through it and you do get broken, then somebody else has to go in and help you get out because you can't move.
Uh-huh.
Brian, don't look so delighted. Man.
Listener, you can't see my face, but just imagine a game master who's delighted at evil.
I am 99% sure everyone can hear your smile.
Yes, your evil grins, they can hear that.
So, I'm not... I don't feel I don't feel confident going through the leaves and then getting Roger and then forcing back through the jagged rocks while hurting us. At least you wouldn't be broken coming back that way. It's just getting across the first time.
Yeah, well, maybe we could go through the rocks and see, if we get damaged, and if we don't, we can come back through the rocks, and if we do, then we can chance either the table or the leaves.
So, it sounds like maybe we're starting to land on a plan. To add one more level of complication to things.
Oh no.
Sarah does tug at Sofie's sleeve and communicates through pictures. What if we wake up Gut Grinder?
Obviously, Sofie's doing this with gestures and pictures and not speaking.
Mm-hmm. But... The two of you have a simpatico connection. You can communicate effectively with words.
Do you think that you could convince him to God damn it, is it Roger or Robert? It's Roger. It's Roger, right?
Look in your heart. What would Bill say?
It's Roger. It's on the map.
Oh, it says Roger Burns right there.
I'm pretty sure it's not Matthias. What would Bill say?
Listener, I would like to point out it is literally on the screen.
I'm not looking at the screen right now. Do you think you could convince him to let Roger go? I don't know if that's if he would be willing to do that.
She's unsure, but she thinks that you all could try, and she could help.
Which leads to the next question. How do you nicely wake up a troll with sensitive hearing?
Right? Like,
Not with noise.
I feel like they'll be like one of those people that no matter how you do it, they're going to flip out when they wake up.
Well,
like, do it loudly, do it quietly, either way.
Hold on. Julian, do you have your violin case with you?
I always have my violin case with me. You know that, Dr. J.
Is a violin going to be the best, though, for somebody who is sensitive to noises?
Well,
Does Sarah know if he appreciates music?
Good question.
She's not sure. She knows that Gut Grinder does not appreciate religious music.
Oh, that's not an issue.
That's okay. Phoenix doesn't know, or Julian doesn't know any religious music.
Oh, he knows them. It's just not his usual thing. And just looking around and thinking of the violin echoing around it's a very lovely noise. It is still a loud noise that's going to be echoing around this room quite a bit.
Maybe if you were to go down the hall and play so that it would reach him, but it wouldn't be quite as echoey as it would be in this cavern.
No, I'm happy to do so, but I feel like we're also making an assumption here. Is Sarah okay going up, and she's essentially going to have to be the one to calm him with however we go to rouse him from his slumber?
She is.
Yeah, I guess, does she agree with us to free Roger?
She's less enthusiastic about that, but she does believe that Gut Grinder is acting misunderstood in this case. She doesn't think that he means to harm people necessarily.
What have we talked to her about? Oh, we didn't tell her about the dead bodies.
Nope.
Because we didn't want to upset her.
It's probably fine.
I do want to make it clear to Sarah that were it not for circumstances, I would definitely leave Roger here to be eaten or whatever, what have you. But unfortunately, we do need him to help someone who's been wrongfully accused. So.
She doesn't think Gut Grinder would eat him.
Oh, well.
Probably.
To be smashed or whatever he would do, yeah.
So, I have only made things more complicated by offering you technically a fourth path forward.
Correct.
You could try and sneak through the dead leaves. You could move through the table with the amazing smelling feast. You can try and navigate jagged rocks. Or you could try and wake the troll.
Say we just say we do wake up Gut Grinder. At that point, essentially what we're hoping is going to happen is that we'll be able to either ourselves or through Sarah tell him we would very much please like to take this person and leave. Why is he going to allow that? Is there anything that we can try to... I mean, do we have anything to bargain here? Because that's my own... I like the idea of not trying to sneak and then get caught by an angry troll. But if we're going to ask him to do something, I feel like we're probably going to have to offer something back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what.
Do we know if the library has properties anywhere else?
Some of its members do.
Do we, is there, or barring the library, is there anywhere in the Puget Sound area that is far from being populated still?
Ah, you have actually come across what I was going to call for a learning test in a little bit.
Waha!
Feel free to make a learning test. You take a +2 bonus from your allies.
So that puts me at regular because I have 2 mental conditions.
Actually, that puts you at +2 because learning, or knowledge, is comforting. Or knowledge is reassuring. A talent you have that lets you ignore conditions.
So then that puts me at 12.
Yep. Also, y'all, you can't complain about having terrible rolls anymore. So many of you have gotten 5+ successes during this mystery.
I was just happy with my 1 on 3.
I know.
That was good.
I mean, seriously, Brian, once you gave me the enchanted magic dice and I stopped using Roll20, I'm feeling good.
Never looked back. All right, here we go. Really?
Oh, I definitely fucked it up.
You did fuck it up. That's only 1.
Would you like to push that?
Yeah, because I think this is really important because it could mean that we could resolve this without, like, getting into a kerfuffle with the fucking troll.
Very well.
I mean, we don't know that 1's not enough. We don't know
Will
that.
the game master in all his magnanimity tell us if 1 is enough?
1 is not enough. I generally don't tell you to push rolls if it's going to be enough. Most of the time. Sometimes I fish for fun.
All right, I got 11 dice, guys. 1, 2, 2.
All right, so 3 total successes?
3 total.
Okay. And what mental conditions does Sofie have now?
All of them? God, this is like me for the past week. She is angry, frightened, and hopeless. She is starting to feel like she's never going to get out of this stupid cave. She's hungry. She's thirsty for something that isn't Chambord or whatever the hell she has in her
Mead.
bag. Mead, yes. Mead is delicious, but she would really just like some water. And there's this beautiful table, and she knows she can't eat any of that food. And she's
But
just
it
like,
smells
what the
fucking
fuck?
amazing.
I'm so freaking hungry. Okay.
So, the good news is you are able to focus past that, and after a little bit of thinking and whispered conversations with your allies, you do strike upon an idea. There is a place that Sofie has heard about. It's a ways off from here, but out on the Olympic Peninsula, in the forests out there, there are a lot of empty, quiet spots. There are places where you imagine you could walk for days and not encounter a human being. You might even suspect you could find the quietest place in the world out in that forest.
That's why I always wanted to live there in real life.
It would take a little doing, but you could actually, with the assistance of the library, probably even get a person and a troll out that way.
Okay.
So, armed with that information, what are you going to do?
I think we should wake him up, because it did say that being polite is really important. So I think he would be more likely to entertain our bargain if we're polite and wake him up nicely and ask him nicely, instead of like getting caught, tootling around in his house.
I agree. I think waking him up would probably be an effort to relocate him, would solve the problem of the repeated attacks on the work camp. It would solve the problem from the troll, and it would potentially get us the individual we need to prove Connie's innocence. I guess the question is just, how do we want to wake him up? I still think maybe if you had a soft thing with music, maybe that might be a more preferable way to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm kind of thinking we just walk up with Sarah kind of in the lead to show that we're friends. But maybe we just walk up. If the leaves wake him, that's one thing. And otherwise, we can maybe have Sarah kind of give him a nudge.
Okay.
And that also gets us across the leaves if things go badly.
Yeah. One other thing that we could mention to him when we're trying to convince him is that this area is just going to continue to be more and more populated. Like he can't, even though he destroyed the church and he destroyed some of the railway, he can't stop the whole population from moving out here. Like they're going to do it anyway, or they're going to be close enough that it's going to bother him regardless. So.
All right. Sounds like y'all have a plan.
All right.
So you're not making any effort at being stealthy. You're just kind of approaching slowly and cautiously. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
As long as Sarah's good being in the lead, for sure.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
So the four of you begin making your way. And about halfway across that stretch of dead leaves, the blankets suddenly begin to shift. And the troll gut grinder springs up and out of the bed. To your shock, and maybe horror, you realize those weren't exclusively blankets on him. Some of them were those beetles that he was snuggling in his sleep.
Oh, no, not the furry beetles.
Oh.
They make little clicking and chittering sounds and rub against his legs.
Oh.
And they look very friendly.
That's kind of cute, actually.
Let's say I'll sleep with my dog on the bed. I'll let him sleep with whenever he wants to sleep on that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to snuggle a beetle, at least let it be a fuzzy one. Right?
Phoenix is unconvinced.
I'm honestly not sure if the disgust here is Phoenix, Julian, or both of us.
That's called character bleed, and we'll talk about it later. So Gut Grinder kind of springs forward, clambering off the bed as these beetles are chittering and rubbing against him. He looks across the four of you and then stops as he sees Sarah. And his toothy face kind of rests into a light smile as he does, and some of the strain eases out of his shoulders. I am Gut Grinder, Marsh Stepper, Rune Reader, and Dark Death Shadow. Who enters my den to seek me out?
Did he say Rune Reader?
He did.
He sure did.
Is Sarah making any reaction? I realize she can't hear him, but is she making any reaction to this?
She is standing towards the front of the group of you and just kind of has both of her hands up and is kind of just holding them there.
I was gonna say I'd kind of look to Sarah and maybe Sofie to at least make our introductions to see. I don't know if we want to just be jumping into.
Okay. We are friends of Sarah here, and we need your help to help another friend of ours who, in short, if we could reach an agreement with you, we would like to take this man, Roger, who is making some rather annoying noises over there in the corner, back with us to face justice.
That Roger does whimper much. It is quite bothersome to me.
I can see why it would be.
It gladdens my heart to see quiet Sarah again. She was gone when I came to look for her, and there was only burned remains.
Yes, we did see the house. That was very, very unfortunate, and we aim to help Sarah get a new place to call her own and to be safe once more.
You speak as friends of Sarah, then?
Yes.
You shall have no harm from me here. You say you wish to take this Burns? And it kind of gestures with two of its arms over at Roger, who's just whimpering in the corner.
Yes, we would appreciate if you would let us take him back with us.
I will permit such a thing. I have little use for this crying thing. If I wished for muling, I would have taken a babe. I ask of you three, though, how do we get away from all of the noises? The men down at the bottom of the hill are loud.
Yes.
With their clanging and yelling.
Yes, they are extremely loud. I agree with you. We actually have an idea about that. We know of a place where there is naught but forest far and wide. There are very few people there at all, and one may go many miles without seeing any other soul at all. So if you would allow us to assist and direct you, we may help you find such a place where you may be at peace and have some quiet.
That would be most gracious. And you are from a group or organization? You say we, is it just the three of you?
No, we work with an organization called the Library. As intelligent as you are, you may know that libraries are also places of quiet. But we sometimes try to facilitate relations between individuals such as yourself and the people hereabouts. But we hope in this instance to provide you with what you need in exchange for you graciously allowing us to return with Roger Burns.
He kind of furrows his mossy brow and stretches out the fingers on each of his three hands. The muling creature means nothing to me. I wished for some companionship, for things had grown lonely without Sarah. You would offer me a gift, and it would be remiss of me to not repay you in kind. What can I offer?
Without even really looking at my companions, I immediately step up and not like step way up, but just like step forward a little bit. If you would be so kind, I would greatly appreciate if you could repay us in knowledge. For you say you are the rune reader, and I myself have some runes that have yet to be read.
That is one of my kennings. I would read this for you.
Now, do you guys think that Sofie has the runes maybe like on a piece of paper so she doesn't have to like half undress in front of a troll? I mean, she doesn't have to like get naked or anything. It's just down to her shirt sleeves, but still.
She has a couple of them written, which Dr. Jensen had copied for her.
That's right. That's right.
But he would need to see several of them.
All right.
But she can kind of like remove the jacket and show like an area around her neck.
Yeah. So she just, she pulls her jacket down and she, pulls her shirt to the side so he can get, several inches like around her neck and her shoulder and stuff.
And he makes kind of a guttural growling sound at the back of his throat. These are runes in the language of the Fasen. They are not meant for human flesh. He studies them for a moment more. In this pattern, these runes are runes of becoming.
Runes of becoming? Of becoming what? What does that mean?
They will change. that which they are written upon. From one thing into another. Exposure to the Vasen, to magic, will expedite that transformation.
Yes, I have noticed that the runes seem to spread at certain times when I come into contact with the Vasen.
These are twisted in their intent. No sane Vasen would alter them so to place them upon a human.
That's concerning, to say the least.
In time, you will become as we are, changed. Though I know not the nature of the change.
Oh, well that's fine, I'm sure. That seems all right. Can any sort of Vasen make these runes? Any kind at all, or is there some specific type that might have done it?
It is hard to say. Some, such as the trolls or the giants, are more skilled in the runes. But others could implant them upon you like this. But no sane Vasen would do so. They have been altered, changed. They are of us, but not of us.
I see. I very much appreciate your insights, Gut Grinder. This has given me a lot to think about.
He gives a deep, respectful nod to the three of you, its ears kind of brushing the ground as it does so. You may take the burns and go. When you leave, you shall arrive straight at the exit, without the wandering that took you here.
Oh, thank God.
Bill, as you say that, there is a low growl. And a little crunch of stone as his fingers break part of the ground.
I misspoke. It was merely a turn of phrase. My humble apologies.
Bring not that here. You are guests, so I will see to it that you are treated as guests. But do not overtax that guest right.
Of course not. You are quite generous. Thank you, Gut Grinder.
Gives you another little nod.
Yes, we thank you so much for your hospitality.
And Bill, when you had said that thank God, you notice his ears just like whipped back a bit.
Yeah, so I will very gingerly but steadily walk, try to give Gut Grinder proper space and go grab Roger and kind of pick him up kind of by the you said he had kind of tattered shirts.
Oh yeah.
So kind of pick him up kind of roughly by the scruff and under the arm.
Yeah. Yeah, and he kind of mutters and he looks around. His eyes are sort of unfocused and slightly glazed, but he puts up no resistance as you lift him. You think that this man has become mentally broken.
Relatable.
All right, I will kind of just, if he can walk, I will kind of push him along. If he needs help, I'll kind of sling one arm over my shoulder and just kind of move him.
Yep. Yeah, he needs a little assistance, but you're able to bring him along. All right. And the now 5 of you are able to head out. Sarah assures Gut Grinder in her own way that she will come back soon, now that she knows where he is. And you are able to depart. sure enough, it is only 3 steps, and you are at the entrance.
Brian, I have to say, I appreciate you making this dungeon where there's a secret exit door after you complete the mission instead of having it, because it's so annoying in games when you get all the way down there and you do the thing and they're like, you have to go back to the beginning to get out. It's like, really? Come on, no magic door? Come on.
Especially since it's an escort quest and he walks a little faster than walking,
Right.
but a little slower than
A
running.
little slower than run speed, and you got, right.
I mean, just pick him up and put him in your inventory.
Violin case of holding it is.
So, with Roger Burns stuffed in a bag of holding, the 3 of you are able to easily make your way back out. You, in order to kind of quickly wind things down, make your way back to the work camp, where a general strike is underway. The majority of the railway workers are either at the rail site refusing to do work, or are here starting to kind of get picket lines together, starting to work on chants. Most of them are shouting for Akane. And you realize a little time has passed. It's actually about a day and a half later. Do y'all head over to the courthouse?
Yeah, I'd say we'd want to move over to the courthouse, but we'd probably want to keep Roger kind of inconspicuous if we can throw something over his head or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've got plenty of costumes for this. I was made for this moment.
we can at Bernie's.
We can at Bernie's.
But yeah, just to avoid any potential conflict
Stirring anything
with the striking people, and they'd probably want to,
punch this dude in the face.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, if that's all they want to do.
Right.
Fair. So yeah, thanks to Julian's costumes, you're easily able to disguise him and get him smuggled through. You flag down a boat from the Mosquito Fleet and make your way back into Seattle. You rush him to the courthouse, and it's been long enough that Judge Edmund Smithers has actually already arrived. You make a quick work of talking your way through the bailiffs, and the case is actually currently open. Now, obviously this is a Wild West frontier town, so there is not quite the law and order of today's modern courtrooms. So bursting in for a dramatic moment is much more allowed in this day and age.
Nice.
I was gonna say we need to drop the bomb in the middle of the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, it's already happening.
Perfect.
And you present that Roger Burns is here. A quick bit of examination later, and Judge Edmund Smithers declares this a mistrial. There was clearly no kidnapping. This strange, perplexed man must have simply wandered off and has since been found.
Can we say that he fell into we found him in a cave or something?
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and he hit his head. Yeah.
Yep. And Akane is set free. She smiles, thanks the public defender that she had, comes to see the 3 of you. I don't believe we've ever met, but I think I owe you my life. May I ask what possessed you to find Roger Burns?
We owed a favor to Jeremy, and he wanted to make sure that you were seen to.
And she smiles a little at that. You're friends of Jeremy's?
We are.
Then I owe both him and you all a great debt. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, of course.
Is Julian flirting? Like she just got out of jail. Although maybe that's a good time.
With Julian, it's always a good time.
I wasn't intending to, but I can't control what she thinks of me.
We will fade out on that note. You have successfully rescued Akane. You've managed to help out your dear friend Jeremy.
AKA Jeffrey.
You have resettled a troll. All in all, Y'all did pretty good on this one.
I loved him. I want to go visit him later.
GM,
He's so cute. Look at his little rabbit ears.
May I ask, how many of your combat encounters did we successfully circumvent to have no fights once again in our
Don't worry about it.
our adventure?
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, Brian.
One of
Phoenix.
these days, he's going to be like, you walk into a door, guns are pulled on you.
Right.
Roll initiative. Draw initiative.
Right. You cannot avoid it.
He's gonna give us fewer and fewer options for getting out. It's gonna be like you open a door and it's on.
So, all I'm gonna say is this.
Uh-oh.
I can't wait until you get to the next adventure.
Oh, no.
Me neither, Brian.
I've got plans.
Brian, remember, this is not supposed to be a combat-heavy game.
And it hasn't been.
And we're very squishy, and... Oh, man.
Now, I do actually have one last thing for you. I've got an epilogue.
Ooh.
The sun is just beginning to dip below the Olympic Mountains. But far to the east, across hills and valleys, mighty rivers and endless grasslands, it has been dark for hours. The last patron of a bar on the western edge of the city of Albany, New York, has stumbled out the door, and the bar's proprietor has begun the task of cleaning up for the night. Bruce Kelly runs a bar called the Mad Swede, although there is not a drop of Scandinavian blood in his veins that he's aware of. When asked about the name of the bar, he likes to joke that an eccentric Swede gave him the money to open it. But that's not true. Bruce isn't a good person. He got the money for this place by robbing a young Swedish man who had just arrived in New York. Bruce had him at knife point in a dark alley, and the strange man simply laughed and took out a half-dozen honest-to-God gold coins from his pocket and threw them at Bruce's feet, and then took off running. Well, there are some opportunities you just can't pass up, can you? Bruce adjusts his cap, where the last of his gold coins is tucked inside the brim, for luck. The little bell above the door rings, drawing Bruce out of his thoughts. Hadn't he remembered to lock that? Hey, sorry, but already closed for the night. You'll need to come back tomorrow, he calls out jovially as he turns. A figure stands in the doorway. He is exceptionally tall and lean, dressed in a fine black suit. His white hair is tucked behind his ears and pressed under a round bowler cap. His eyes are hidden behind a pair of gold-rimmed, wire-framed glasses with green polarized lenses. His gloved hands rest atop a gold-headed walking cane, and he watches Bruce silently. Sorry, sir, but as I said, we are closed for the night. Must have forgotten to lock the door. I'm closing up shop, but we'll be open again in the morning. The man's stare begins to make Bruce squirm. He can't explain it, but something in him is telling him to run. But Bruce Kelly isn't going to be intimidated by some toff in a suit. Not in his own bar. At least, that's what he thinks, until he hears the man speak. Thief, the man says in a deep, rich voice. Bruce blinks, taking a step back. As he does, the tall man moves towards him. Bruce feels as though he's in slow motion as the man crosses the distance before he can react. His hand grabs Bruce's wrist and drags him off balance. He stares from behind those green glasses and then leans forward intently. He pulls Bruce's hand up to his face and then sniffs his open palm. Before Bruce can demand an answer, the man's other gloved hand covers his mouth. That hand is as tight as a vice. The stranger releases Bruce's wrist and slowly reaches out to take off his cap. He lifts it staring at the antique gold coin tucked into the band. Bruce's legs begin to shake, and he drops bonelessly to the floor. You can have it. Take it. Take whatever you want. We slowly pan away from the pair, out the door of the Mad Swede. As Bruce looks up at the tall man's predatory smile, he begins to scream. And that's all.
Damn.
We'll find out what happens with Bruce. Well, we won't find out what happens with Bruce, but
Bruce is
we'll find out what happens with the tall man later on. Thank you all so much for playing, and I can't wait for our next session. I've got a really fun interlude planned, and then I've got something really exciting in the works.
Oh boy. This is fine. It's fine.
Have a wonderful night. I can't wait to play with you all again soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. Our theme song is Myths and Legends by Robert Bruckmeyer, which is playing right now. Our music is by Andreas Lundström, and you can hear more of his work on the Sweden Rolls podcast. Link in the show notes. Our editor is Hannah Cheney. If you're enjoying this show, please take 2 minutes to rate and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. I know every podcast says it, but it really does make a difference and helps us continue to grow the show. Finally, remember the motto of the library. Fear gives way to knowledge. Knowledge gives way to wisdom. And wisdom gives way to the truth. Until next time.